see. Wonderful to see you. Alright, here we go. Today is the... Okay. And... Okay. All right. Okay. Now. Hi. Take a nice deep breath with me. Okay. As always, we're going to start with taking a moment to bring yourself into this space and leaving the trials and the tribulations, the stresses, the anxieties and the fears and everything else. We're just going to leave that out there, wherever there is, but we're going to leave it outside this room just for a moment. Okay. Now, of course, when you leave this room, you're always welcome to pick up all those things if you want to. All those fears and anxieties and woulda, shoulda, couldas and all that. You're welcome to pick those back up. I don't necessarily recommend it, but they're always waiting for you. Okay, they're waiting for me, they're waiting for everybody. Alright, so, alright, go ahead and relax your eyes, close your eyes if you like, relax them, close them, and just start noticing your breathing. Just notice the rhythmic rise and fall. Bringing yourself more and more into this room, into this space, this wonderful, safe space. Nobody's here to hurt you. Nobody's here to... I'm not here to hurt you or judge you or anything. I'm here just to be a sounding board, right? And I know you wanted to talk about confidence and self-worth, right? Okay, well, those are very wonderful things to discuss, and we're not there yet, though. We'll get to that, okay? Not yet. All right. So just put your feet flat on the floor. Nice. Nice. You can lay back if you like. Okay, nice. Nice. Keep noticing your breathing. Uncross your arms, uncross your legs. Just be open, vulnerable. I know that can be very scary for many people. Yeah, vulnerability is not something that, well, it doesn't come naturally for very many people. For some, it's easier. Some people have easier access to their vulnerability. Others, kind of depends on how much you were betrayed as a child, unfortunately. If you were frequently let down in childhood and young adulthood, vulnerability can often be terrifying. Yeah. The good news is that you're not alone, that an extraordinary amount of people experience a lot of vulnerability, fears of vulnerability, It's incredibly common, and it's okay. It's neither good nor bad, right? It just is. Just in the same way that a raindrop is neither good nor bad. It just is. A raindrop can be wonderful, right? It can nourish a plant or wash away the grime on something and make something clean, and it can also be the cause of a flood or a tidal wave. But it's just a water drop. It's a better analogy. It's just a drop of water. It just is, right? No judgment on it. In the same way, I assume that you and we don't judge a bear for being a bear, or an orca for being an orca, or you don't judge a deer for being a deer, right? Or a sheep. Sheep are really, really sweet, unless you're a blade of grass. Then a sheep is terrifying. Actually, I learned something fascinating recently. In Mother Nature, there's all these incredible struggles happening, and it's more obvious to you and me in the animal kingdom, because you and I are mammals, so it's easier to relate to mammalian behavior. But plants have that incredible battle happening all the time, and apparently, like with grass, for example, somehow plants are sending signals to one another. Maybe even grass. Like, for example, a herd of horses will just suddenly be grazing in one area of grass, and then they will just suddenly stop grazing and go over to another part of grass. And there's some science and some evidence to suggest that the grass warned the other grass, hey, I am being eaten right now, and it developed an enzyme that makes that grass taste bad to the animal eating it, and then it somehow sends that signal out to the other neighboring grasses or whatever, saying, hey, be on the lookout, the sheep are coming or the horses are coming. Now, I'm not sure at exactly what level that is occurring, but there is absolutely some type of plant communication happening. Sorry, I like to sidebar. Okay, back to focusing on the breath. All right. Breathe. Just noticing your body. Noticing where you have tension. And letting that go. Any tension in your forehead. Letting that go. Tension around the temples. Very commonplace. The jaw. Relax your jaw. We often unconsciously grit our teeth, grind our teeth. Relax the jaw. Relax the neck and shoulders. Relax your arms, forearms, hands. Let that relaxation go down, down, down. Relaxing your chest, back, shoulder blades, lower back, down, down, the belly, the abdomen, relax. Relax the belly and the abdomen, hips and thighs. Letting that relaxation melt down the body, out the fingertips, down past the knees and calves, down the ankles and through the heels and the bottoms of your feet and the top of your feet and all the way out to your tippy toes. with me right now. It's nice, isn't it? It's amazing how important it is to allow ourselves to experience calm during the day, whether it be with me or by yourself. Taking a moment to really meditate, to really just say that for the next even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, that you're really going to let yourself relax. And it's not that you're not going to do things afterward. You will. And it's important that you will. Right? It's important that we have tasks and goals that we would like to achieve. It's very important. And it's very important that we take conscious time, not just in our sleep, but conscious time to be present to simple pleasures in life. Touching grass with our bare feet, feeling warm sunshine on our face and on our skin, giving a friend or a loved one, a family member, a hug. Simple things. It's important to allow yourself moments of stepping off the hamster wheel. Not just with me. I mean, this is certainly a lovely respite from all of that. And I want you to practice being able to do this on your own as well. Yeah. Okay. And nice big deep breath in. And exhale out. And big deep breath in. And exhale out. Nice. So, confidence and self-worth, the banes of many, many people, right? Well, I don't know if this is comforting to you or not. I find it comforting that almost everybody you meet, not everyone, but almost everyone you meet, is fundamentally deeply insecure, myself included. It's kind of all about context. There are areas in my life, of course, that I feel very good about. There are areas in my life where I feel relaxed and confident, and I feel good about myself. But you can put me in other circumstances where I'm not good at a thing, or I don't know much about a subject, and I can feel really insecure, really, just like, oof, Jeremiah, you better sit down and be quiet. You better stay in your lane, because if you talked right now or said something, you might look really stupid. Like, I absolutely have those moments. I think it's a very human thing. And I will admit that those moments are not as frequent as they used to be in my teens and 20s, because that's when it really kicks in, is in our teens. You know, if you ever get a chance to be around little kids, like they're very fully self-expressed, you know, because their little egos haven't fully developed. They don't have that inner monologue telling them that they look bad yet. You're right. So it's sort of there, like that first time you feel shame or something. That, you know, that can definitely happen in childhood, but for the most part, that part of our brains hasn't, unfortunately, had a real chance to grow yet. And so they don't really have that sense of, like, you know, oh, I'm gonna say something and look bad right now. Whereas around 12, 13, 14, boy, does that little devil kick in with a vengeance, doesn't it? All of a sudden you're like, do my friends like me? Do I look cool? Am I wearing the right thing? Like, and we handle it in many different ways. You know, some people become the jock and the cheerleader and the prom queen, and they're very social and outwardly, like, you know, the physical appearance and so forth. And some people end up becoming, like, you know, the goth. You know, in my day it was like grunge. You know, you listen to Nirvana and Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains. These like dark and broody music. You know, we wore baggy clothes and everything was like Seattle grunge, and you got like the darker side. You know, it was like a reaction to like the 80s glam rock. You know, like let's do the opposite of what, you know, Kiss and Poison and Bon Jovi was. Like, we're not doing that. We're doing the opposite, man. You know, fight that. But no matter which way we choose to express our outward self, everybody's deeply insecure. You know, some of the most insecure people outwardly look like they have everything together. You know, the captain of the football team, he may have, you know, a parent at home that is berating him nonstop and telling him that if he doesn't do this and that he's a failure in their eyes. And I'm not saying that's always the case, but I'm saying we don't know. The prom queen who thinks that, you know, her only value is in her beauty and feels deeply insecure about what her friends may think. And my point is that insecurity is the default. It's the default. And everybody from, you know, the grungy goth kid to the captain of the football team. Everybody is afraid of looking bad. Everybody is afraid of being made the fool. Everybody is afraid of these things. Now, how does one gain confidence? That's what you're really kind of asking me, right? How does one gain a sense of self-worth, right? And it is in my experience that the single most effective way of gaining confidence and gaining a sense of self-worth is setting a goal or an objective with a very specific by when, as in, when will I have this done? By when will I have achieved this milestone? And it's important to have things kind of set up also as systems of milestones rather than goals. Goals are important. We all have goals. Goals are good. Goals are wonderful things to aspire to. But Aristotle was quoted as saying, You are what you repeatedly do. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not a virtue. It's a habit. Being excellent is not something that people are born with. There's nobody that's born excellent, you know. There's like genetically, this is an excellent human. There's no such thing. There are systems and habits that we do that lead to what some may describe then as excellence. And the biggest way to begin gaining a sense of self-worth is to set something that is an achievable goal, an outcome, and then work backward. This is very important. What's the thing you want to do? Write a screenplay, write a book, I don't know, get on the ice hockey team, I don't know, like, whatever you want to do, make a film, you know, whatever. Start with the end in mind, and then go backwards and go, well, in order to have this be the reality, I have to have this done first. And in order for this to have been a reality, I have to have this done next. In order to be at this position, I have to be here, right? It's like, there's another Nietzsche quote, something about, you know, a person cannot simply fly one day. You must first learn how to stand and walk. One cannot fly, and to fly, you must first learn. It's a step by standing and walking. If you're going to be a sprinter, if you're going to be a great sprinter, the first thing you have to be able to do is crawl, right? Okay, can I crawl? Yes, good. Okay, can I crawl effectively? Good. Can I stand up? Good. Can I walk? Good. And you see where I'm going, okay? So I would like you to think about what is an achievable goal that you would like to have, okay? And I mean, it's got to be achievable. You know, it's kind of like the old adage, you know, like me, it's like, well, I want to be, you know, an NBA player. Well, Jeremiah, it's probably not in my cards, you know, that's probably not in my cards, you know. But there are other things, there are many things that I could realistically achieve right now. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So what's something you would like? And then go backwards. Okay? Go backwards 3 months. In order to have this thing, this goal, assume it is achieved. By this time, I have to have had this done. Okay? And then go back 3 months. In order to have that moment achieved, I'd have to be this far along in something. Okay? And we're just going to set that up, and we're going to establish that. And then you have to start just doing it. And I wish there was a shortcut. I wish there was a magical pill you could take, that we could take, that, now I'm self-confident. Now I have self-worth. There's not. The only way, in my experience, of gaining self-worth is setting a goal or a task that I will have this done by this time and making it happen. And one of the best ways of devaluing self-worth and confidence is giving up on yourself and making excuses for why it didn't happen. Because, boy, those are easy to do. It's so easy. And everyone's guilty of it. And when I mean everybody, I mean is guilty of it. You know? But luckily not always. You know? Our better angels hopefully win out more than not. So, setting something achievable, setting a buy-win, it's realistic, and celebrating the milestones along the way, that's really, really, really important. Because sometimes people forget to celebrate the little milestones. And they're only like, well, if I haven't, if I'm not the valedictorian, then I failed in life. And it's like, well, that's not true. Or if I'm not the captain of the chess team, or I don't get into Stanford, or I don't become the leader of the blah, 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 whatever the thing is, whether it's intellectual or physical or whatever, and you say, if I don't have this, then I'm a failure, that is a recipe for depression. It's very important that we celebrate the achievements along the way. Because life is a weird, meandering road. And it will take you to places that you had no idea. And it's going to have weird pitfalls and events that just you could never expect. And it's important to set a goal and make it happen. And then celebrate it when you do. Like, hey, I did that thing. Good job. High five. Right? Fist bump. Okay. I know that. How does that sound to you? Almost kind of hokey? Okay. Well, maybe. But will you try it on? That's all I ask. Try it on and see if it works. Okay? And once you have one victory, you'll have a little more confidence. And that can often lead to the next victory, which gives you a little more confidence. And the next. And the next. And eventually, you'll have enough victories where you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, actually, I do have some more confidence. I do feel a little more sure of myself, at least in one area. And in other areas, it'll still be scary. And that's okay. The main thing is to get out there and experience life. Experience the world. Okay? Be bold, be brave. In the words of Edna Mode, be expressive, not impressive, darling. Go be expressive, not impressive. Be bold, be daring. Yeah. All right. Okay. So, I'm very curious to see your plan, and I want you to write it out. What is your achievable goal? Your achievable goal, like in 6 months or a year, and then go backwards. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, so that if you get to by this point, you're on the path to achieving the thing, okay? So set the goal, work backwards, and then celebrate the milestones as you go. All right? Okay. Okay. You take care. I'll talk to you real soon.